Friends, this evening we join in a global wave of light to remember the beautiful souls of all of your precious children who are gone far too soon. We gather in solidarity under the starlight of this universal sky to light candles, to spread light, to share love, to honor your grief, and to speak hope. Families are meeting across the globe tonight as a form of sharing the common ground of love and loss in a season that naturally amplifies the ache in your heart to a higher intensity. In the spirit of solidarity, we stand together apart, standing together with deep and painful understanding of experiencing that empty chair, with a shared knowing that you wish you didn't know and didn't share. There is solace in knowing that one is not alone. And though we are apart due to COVID, I hope you feel the connection this evening affords in this communal gathering of parents whose children are gone before them, and every sibling, grandparent, child, spouse, niece, nephew, aunt, uncle, and cousin who share this moment with you. You stand together on the common ground of your profound loss and your profound love. Thank you for joining in this evening in this virtual gathering. I pray that you know that though we are not in the same room due to COVID, that the love of our Jones-Parkview team is with you wherever you are, holding space with your heart, standing in the glow of candlelight with you in remembrance and in love. May the love in our hearts radiate as light to your hearts. The theme of tonight's ceremony is written in the stars, and it's inspired by the well-known quote that suggests, perhaps they are not stars, but rather openings in heaven where the love of our loved one pours through and shines down upon us. Tonight, I ask you to open yourselves to their love being written to you in the stars. And let's look to the light for hope and inspiration. With that in mind, if you haven't already done so, I invite you to light your memorial candle. We light these candles in memory of sons and daughters, grandsons and granddaughters, brothers and sisters, dads and moms, spouses, aunties and uncles, nieces and nephews and cousins. And we light their candles, shining their light out into the darkness of this evening like beacons of love, so that they will know beyond a shadow of a doubt that we continue to carry their light in our hearts. I encourage you to say their name out loud. And though tonight I can't hear your voice, I believe that the listening heaven hears you and hears the love with which you speak their precious name. And in memory of your precious children and of all children, I light this ball of light, honoring all children who are gone too soon, that their lights may always shine in our hearts and through our lives. Let's take a moment, look into the light, and just listen. Candles flame in darkness, flicker steadily glow, bringing light from the shadows, seeking to soothe you so. Your children, like the candles, gave your lives true light. We use the candle's beacon to connect you on this night. As we light the candles, our wish and our request is that they'll see this signal and know your love's expressed. As their light joins your lights, your worlds touch and flame, and the heavens resonate with the echo of their name. Tonight, I invited Blake Seebach, a member of our Jones-Parkview team and fellow bereaved parent, to light 5 symbolic candles. 1 for your grief, 1 for your courage, 1 for your memories, 1 for your love, and 1 for your hope. The first candle represents your grief. The pain of losing your beloved child is as intense as your love for that child. You love deeply, therefore you grieve deeply. The second candle represents your courage, the courage to confront your sorrow, the courage to reach out and comfort each other, and the courage to adjust your lives. The third candle represents your memories, the times you laughed, the times you cried, and the many-colored spectrum of times you spent together. The fourth candle represents the infinite bond of your forever love for each other. Though they are gone from your sight, your love for each other is undeniable and lives on and is experienced in all new ways. Their love light is always shining. The fifth candle represents hope. Hope that your child will live on through you and can never be erased from your memory. Hope that your child's lives will continue to make a difference in the world through you and through all who may impact it. And hope that you can trust you will be together again. We hold on to that hope with all our might. These candles now glow for your grief, courage, memories, love, and hope. May their glow illumine your heart and shine long after the candles burn down. As a grief support worker, I have always claimed that the bereaved themselves are the experts of their grief experience. And so with that in mind, I invited Melanie Delorme, a mom who knows the profound loss of a precious child, to share the message of her heart with your heart on this evening. Melanie is the author of After the Flowers Die, an amazing handbook on coping strategies for addressing heartache, hope, and healing after the loss of a child. Let's listen to Melanie.
Good evening. I'm honored to be here. I know I have already met many of you in person through Della's group. Those of you who don't know me, my name is Melanie Delorme, and we lost our 8-year-old son Garrett in a hunting accident in 2008. And since then, I have been connected with so many other bereaved parents. And I have to say, that is the one thing that I find the most comforting, meeting other people and realizing that I am not alone in this struggle and in this journey to live the rest of my days without my son. And the theme of the evening is Heaven's Stars. And as I thought about that this week, I was reminded of the day that Garrett was born and how that little baby just lit up our worlds instantly and became the brightest little star there was. And I know you can relate to that changing perspective when you become a parent and you are now responsible for this little person. And that little person becomes the star of your world, the star of his own little movie of life. And it doesn't matter how many minutes or days or years that movie lasted. That little person was the star of it. And their love and their light changed you in so many ways. And just because he or she is no longer with us, their love and their light lives on forever. You know, shortly after Garrett died, one of my friends bought and named a star for Garrett. And I got coordinates of it, and I was able to find it on one of those star apps. And as I looked up at it, I was comforted, feeling like Garrett's light would live forever. But also realized that his light lives on through me. There's something amazing about standing outside under a sky full of stars and looking up and believing that each one of those little lights is one of our kids or one of our loved ones, sharing their light with us forever. So as much as they aren't physically here this season, I hope you are able to think about all those movies that your child starred in and find some comfort in the love that you shared with them. Thank you.
Written in the stars. Melanie so beautifully connected to our theme through her inspiration this evening. And I want to thank you so much, Melanie, for doing so and for sharing Garrett with us. As I thought about this theme and my great desire that you would feel and experience a sense of connection with your precious beloved, I tried to think of an example of making a shift from one reality to another in the same way that you make the shift from experiencing a relationship with your child of physical presence to relating with them in spirit. And as I was thinking about it, I thought it's like we're moving from a concept to a new reality. And that can be a really big shift for our mind and our heart to go through. And when I tried to think of an example that I've witnessed in my life of seeing that shift happen, this is the story that came to mind. The story is of a time when we were spending time with our granddaughter, Katie, and we were at our lake place. It was evening, and as was our evening ritual, I was singing from her board book, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And we sang, and she sang along with me, and it was a story that we told. But when it was done, I felt this nudge to take her outside. And we went outside, and when you're in the country, the stars, they shine just that much more brilliantly. And I took Katie in my arms and I held her so that she was laying in my arms staring up at that massive, massive sky that was just full of stars. And we sang Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star once again. And every time I sang about the stars, I pointed up at those lights that were shining back at us. And then I would point to my mouth and the word star. And we spent the whole song doing that. And when it was done, I again emphasized it, pointing up at the sky and then back to my mouth with the word. And then there was the moment where she connected it. And the look on her face was of complete awe. It was a connect. She connected that word that we were saying and singing was actually representing that very real star that was shining back from us from the sky at us. And her face literally lit up with awe. I have been in the moment with bereaved parents as they tell me the story of that moment when they connect with their child in spirit. It's a moment maybe where a feather floats out of absolutely nowhere and lands on your lap, when a feather is actually a profound symbol in your relationship. That moment when a butterfly sits and sits at the most poignant of moments. That moment when a dragonfly is in your presence and you just feel that connection. And when they tell me these stories, I see the look of awe in their face, and I see the light shining out of their eyes. And in that moment, that connection is as real as rain for them. And the fact it's as real as rain for them is all that matters. Because in that moment, they felt that shift from a relationship of physical presence to relating to their beloved in spirit. And that shift was profoundly beautiful and an immense gift. Does it replace them? No. They'll never be replaced. Their physical presence is what we know and love being in the presence of. And yet, in the reality of their loss, we take in this shift. I encourage us to open ourselves to the shift so that we can experience that relationship of spirit in something much more than a concept, in something that feels very real. Tonight, as we gaze into these lights, we're reminded of the light that's in the sky. We're inspired by these lights. I hope you feel that connection with their love, with their light, and with their messages that are written in the stars. I'd like to share a poem written by a bereaved mom called The Star. A light went out on earth for me the day we said goodbye, and on that day a star was born, the brightest in the sky, reaching through the darkness with its rays of purest white, lighting up the heavens as it once lit up my life, with beams of love to heal the broken heart you left behind, where always in my memory your lovely star will shine. If I could share a prayer with you tonight, I think these words from the song The Prayer would be it. And so I share those words with you. I pray you will find your light and hold it in our hearts. When stars go out each night, remind us where you are. Let this be our prayer. When shadows fill our day, lead us to a place, guide us with your grace to a place where we'll be safe. We have joined hearts and hands across the earth, and we have decorated this earth with our hope and healing and love, deep and profound love. And together, you are a family circle, broken by the death of your beloveds and mended by your love. May love be your greatest healer and guide. I close this ceremony with this beautiful affirmation. We remember them. In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we remember them. In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember them. In the opening of the buds and the warmth of summer, we remember them. In the rustling of leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we remember them. In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them. When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them. When we are lost and sick of heart, we remember them. When we have joys we yearn to share, we remember them. So long as we live, they too shall live, for now they are part of us as we remember them. Friends, may light and love surround you every step of the way through this season. Know that we hold you in our heart of hearts, and may peace fill you and carry you. Amen.